Hello, my friends. Here we are working on the test panel again. The effects I'm going after here are not subtle, and they were not meant to be. As I said, we're kind of pretending this is a plate, sidewall, what have you, on a ship that's been out at sea for quite a while. And the salt has had its way, and it's wartime. They're slapping paint on things, camouflaging, so on and so forth. And it's susceptible to the weather. What I've done here since I talked to you last is I applied the decal, and then I went ahead and put about 3 more coats of Pledge or the Future floor wax over it to seal the decal. Again, the Microset Microsol solutions that I used for the first time last night, amazed. Very, very nice. I don't know if the camera will pick up any reflection here, but the rough texture and graininess of the cardboard is reproduced right through the decal. It's tightened itself so down to the surface, even the roughness is passed through. Now, some of you might be wanting to know, what is this crap all over this panel? I went for rust. Just trying stuff out and taking some thoughts on what rust might look like, and just trying to use a little artistic license and coming up with something on my own. Those of you who remember, I put a little box on the wall. Okay, it's a toolbox or something, and it's getting banged around a little bit. And then, like I said, to the surface rust from chipping of the paint or whatever's occurred. I have also been working on a handrail that I'm going to be mounting there. You see it being held in my tweezers as it dries. I put the primer coat on, and I don't know if it's going to show up here in the camera, but I made some mixtures out of some of my Vallejo paints, and on one end of it I painted kind of a dry brush and color mixture, so on and so forth, to put a base of rust. Then what I will be doing is I coated it with hairspray, and then what I'll be doing is putting the finish coat on the rail to hopefully match the paint behind it, or if that becomes too difficult, I'll just paint it a dark battleship gray. And then using warm water on the acrylic paint, I will begin to remove the outer layer of paint to reveal the underlying rust. And hopefully it'll be the first time I've ever tried the hairspray technique, and hopefully it'll come out to something that I would like a look at. And then, of course, when it's all done, then I will pop it through my rail or my panel, mount it, and then I'm thinking I'll probably try to paint the background colors, the light blue. I'll probably go with the black and then make a white stripe, because it's going to go right over the letter, and so I'll make it look as if the guys painted it to look that way. And then, of course, the next step when I get through these will be another clear coat with the Future floor wax. And then I think my final step, because I've had a busy week, I haven't been able to get down to the craft store to buy any oils. But the last thing I want to do on this, I think, is correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they call it a pin filter with oil paints and mineral spirits, and I want to make it look like there's a lot of salt and maybe a little more dirt. And that will be the next step. And then after the pin filter, then I believe the last thing that I'll do is I will coat it with, I have some Testors dull coat. And I'm not sure if I'm going to airbrush it or how I'm going to apply it. It looks to be a little thick, and I did buy some lacquer thinner, so perhaps I can thin that down and spray it through my airbrush as the final coat to dull and flatten everything. So we when I get done, I don't want to see any of this, glare. I want to have it be flat. And I think also possibly the flat application might accentuate this ribbed, goofy looking surface I got here. And again, being it's cardboard, it's rough. It gives me the impression of steel that's had many coats of paint on it. In that respect, it was unexpected sort of a finish. But the more I play with it, and the more I fantasize about it being a piece on a wall of a World War II destroyer or something, it's beginning to look more and more all the time like it fits. And I keep getting other ideas, as far as how to go about it. Now this smeary, grungy looking, rusty smear looking stuff I have on there, I just kind of thought of that as I was going along. I mixed my rust chip colors using Vallejo paints. I used a mixture of leather brown and German camouflage orange ochre and German camo medium brown. And I just kept messing with it in the palette until I came up with a color that my wife looked at it. She says, that doesn't look like rust to me. It looks like chocolate. And I said, well, it's the illusion. So that's what I made I should get something here. That is what I made the large chips with. The larger rust flakes was with this mixture that I made out of these three different colors. And then I just kept pouring thinner in it, a lot of thinner, until I got it down to where it was very, very watery. I would say, in my estimation, it was probably 80 to 90% thinner. The pigment then and everything was just like water. And then I just tipped the panel up on an angle, and I started, and I was using let's see, that is a, I think it's a number 1 pointed tip bristle, not incredibly sharp. But then I just took the wash, and again I said I had this on an angle, and I just kept daubing a little bit of that wash color, and I had to coax it along by drawing a very thin line, and then just kept adding it, and I got these rusty looking smears. And then I got done with that, and maybe taking some of my wife's criticism too, I don't know. But I made up a second wash using the German camo ochre, orange ochre, and I mixed just a touch of the medium brown in it, and again, very, very, very thin. And then I actually did probably about 3 or 4 coats of just daubing it on to get a little bit of a more yellow-orange slight tint to it. And when I got done, the chips were looking better. And so then I thought, well, what the heck, I should probably run a little that more color down in through it too. So after about 2, 3, 4 applications of just lightly adding more and more of this wash, I got this more of a rusty cast, which I'm pretty well pleased with it. And like I said, it's not a subtle thing, and it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be just a practice of how to maybe make something look kind of realistic as far as a big rust chip. And so it's my square, it's my mess. And then again, I'll be putting the bar on and trying a hairspray technique on that, and then we'll see how everything looks. And when I dull coat it, then I'll have a finished product that it's been a good exercise for me. I'm glad I'm playing with all this kind of stuff on cardboard rather than having to mess up on my submarine or something like that and then having to take it all off and redo it. So I wanted to go through this process before I finish the Gato. I've got to the point where it's very nearly ready to put the base coat of paint on it, and then we'll be moving on to weathering. And man, I haven't weathered anything in 30 some years, and this is my first attempt at going back into some of the old stuff I used to do, and then trying some of this new stuff that I've never done before. Like trying to make something look rusty, or I've never used a hairspray technique. I never did washes like this before, and like I said, this one is all acrylic so far, and then I want to do a pin filter with oil, with oils to kind of give a salt spray final finish to it before I dull coat it. So I appreciate the fact that you're hanging along and looking at it, and I appreciate the comments. Everything's been very positive, and I'm glad that there's some interest in the community to work along with something like this. So far, I have only seen Shane Smith's square. If anybody else is working on one, give me a bump and let me know. I have resubscribed, or I have subscribed to most everybody that's made comments, and so if you're doing one, I hope I catch it. I want to see what other people are doing. Well, thanks a lot for your patience. Have a good day and happy modeling.